financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is my business, what to do, and also I don't have an estate plan. Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. A pleasure to be here this morning.
Pat Simasco.
I get these questions every single day now, literally every 2 or 3 times a day. What do I do with the business and what do I do with my paperwork?
Yeah, there's a lot out there. Jeff Linden, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ken. How you doing?
Everything good in the tax world?
Everything is interesting in the tax world right now.
All right, so let's focus on the small business person first. All right, I've got a case study: gym and fitness center. But whether it's a gym, there are so many. You don't like that one, Brian?
Jim's gym. I mean,
Gym spelled J-I-M.
I get it. I got it.
G-Y-M.
You've clearly had too much time on your hands.
Do you like Jim's Gym more than Corey and Vidalia from last?
I actually do like Jim's Gym more than Corey and Vidalia, yes.
But, whether it's Jim's Gyms, you guys have heard of anybody, restaurateurs? Who are you talking to out there? The business guys, business person's got a big problem.
It's not just, people, it's not the obvious ones like restaurants or spas where people are concerned, I'm never going to open back up. Doctors, you've got chiropractors, people that go, when you have to go see someone to get help, there's a fear that the person sitting on the table before you had COVID. There's a fear that if you go into that doctor's office, you're going to get sick. It's going to take a long time for any semblance of normalcy to return.
Oh, it's everybody. It's your lawn care people. It's all the service industries. It's printing companies, people who buy and sell printers and stuff like that. Their business is way down. With the maintenance. I talk to people all the time that are really struggling right now.
The only hope is that it will get back to normalcy relatively close, but the question is, it's going to be difficult. Very hard to see it happen. All right, so let's take Jim's Fitness Center. Opened in 2019. He was doing great. Monthly membership fees, $49, tons of members. He's got trainers, classes, the whole package. Fitness trainers have a really bad thing going for them. That's going to be a really hard one to, I think, sell going forward. He has a lease, 5,000 square feet, $8,300 a month, 7 years to go on, 7-year lease, 6 years to go. He's got a bank loan of $400,000 that covered the build out plus the purchase of the gym equipment. Monthly payment on that note, $7,200. He's guaranteed both of those debts. I tell you, when I wrote this case study, I felt nauseous for Jim. If you think about that business, how difficult of a scenario it is, where's the revenue going to come from?
That's the thing. Right now, all the focus is on the consumers, protecting the consumers, but he's a consumer. He doesn't have the relief like the other people have.
Well, Pat, you represent, obviously, in your financial planning business, everybody from the small guy to the business owner. Are you seeing business owners reaching into their 401s right now? Are you?
Yeah.
What type of advice are you giving to those individuals to keep them from making mistakes?
Well, that's the thing is hopefully they have enough money in their bank account to have a little bit of a cushion to get through it. But that's coming from one of our very first show is, do you pull it out of your home equity loan? Do you pull it out of your 401k plan? Or do you pull it out of your credit cards? And you just have to look at each scenario.
And then even in that scenario, when I look at it, is the goal is not to let this COVID downturn wipe out all of your equity and everything you've built up in your life. But in a business environment, it is a survival issue. There is relief. The PPP program for business owners. That's the payroll protection program. You could take 2.5 times your average monthly payroll, borrow that money, government gives it to you. It had loan forgiveness that says if you use 75% of the proceeds on your payroll for the 8 weeks after you get the loan, and the rest of the money you use only for rent or mortgage and interest payments, the loan is forgiven in a year. But here's the problem. Let's say you're Jim and you got this loan, and you got the loan funded April 15th. You now have to use that money in the next 8 weeks on your payroll in order to qualify for loan forgiveness. But you can't even reopen yet because you're still on a shelter order.
Right.
And even when you reopen, you're not going to be up at full staff because there's not going to be demand. So what do you do?
It's a crazy scenario. You've got to look at you got to come up with two different plans. One is if you reopen, and one is if you're not reopening. And you got to think it all the way through. You might need to be using that money that the government gave you to pay off your guaranteed money, your guaranteed debt, because there is no personal guarantee. Because your gym, sorry, Jim, but your gym might never reopen.
Hey, you know what? If you actually look at that, we've had so many situations where a lot of these small businesses were floundering beforehand, and then they've been kept going by pulling money out of their 401k plans and spending their retirement money trying to keep this business going. Maybe this is the time they have to just say, you know what, this is not for us, and move on to the next plan.
It's a really difficult scenario because if you get this loan and you have the money, there's no guarantee on the loan. And if you decide after you get the loan, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it, instead of using it for payroll, you go and you negotiate with the bank and the landlord with that money to get out from under the guarantee. But it's a really hard call to make.
Are the PPP loans are being borrowed by the business or by the business owners in their name?
Oh, it's the business. It's the business that borrows the money with no personal guarantee. It's 1% loan payable in 2 years. So I'm not saying that's not what the goal of the program is. The goal of the program is hire back your employees so that they can then work and keep the economy going. There's a timing issue. We'll be back after the break.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We were here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We will create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Okay, so we're back. All right, so we're talking about Jim's gym. Okay, the whole problem with the PPP loan, and the final rule has not been told. The one thing the SBA is doing is they're changing and modifying the rules as they go. It's my hope that they create a little bit more flexibility for people like Jim, that if he gets the PPP loan and he's not able to reopen, he gets a longer period to use the money to pay for payroll and still get the loan forgiveness. By the way, on loan forgiveness, Jeff, is that taxable if the loan's forgiven?
No, under these circumstances and specifically in this relief program, the loan forgiveness would not be taxable.
And wait, what about the loan itself? Is the loan income? Because if it's forgiven, so the forgiveness of the debt isn't taxable, and the loan isn't going to be added to your gross receipts.
No, because it's a loan. It's a loan, and then when they cancel the debt, that would be income, but it's not going to be income. Pat, in a situation, think about like your practice, okay? For lawyers, we're still able to do business going forward. But the whole issue is if you had a business and you have nothing for people to do and you get all this money, and you bring back your employees, but your employees can't do any work, what good does it do?
That's the whole thing. It's kind of a paid vacation because our business is meeting clients. We don't do like lawsuits with billable hours. And how about criminal lawyers that do criminal cases? They can't go to court. So it's so funny, though, the things that you're just talking about. The first segment is how do you help the consumer get out of that loan that's paying the gym membership. So then the next case study is how do you help the gym owner that doesn't have any money coming in to pay his. Then the next segment is going to be how do you help the big national landlord that the people are not paying the rent. It's hurting everybody. And the reality is going to be this.
Absolutely.
The government's going to be writing such a huge check to bail everybody out. Our great grandkids are going to be paying it back.
You run into the issue of how is that enormous deficit that we already had before this, and how is it afterwards? How's it going to play out? Nobody seems to know. It's like during the administration, while things were good, the deficit's been going up all this time.
Look at Venezuela. You're going to see how it's going to go. They're just going to keep printing money and printing money and printing money.
Yeah, it's rough. All right, so Jim's situation, he needs to do some careful thought process in terms of where it is. My point on Jim is if you can realistically look at it and say, I'm not going to be able to make it, which is a very hard thing for someone to do. By making that decision, it gives you time to negotiate and improve your personal situation on guarantees. And you need to look at that. You have to be pragmatic and look at the reality of the situation because it's difficult.
Ken, are your real estate owner clients willing to negotiate with that? Or are they taking it hard?
What my real estate clients did is the first thing that they did is they called their lender and we negotiated deferrals on the mortgage payments on on the properties, and they then pass that reduction in what the savings in rent reduction to their tenants. So yeah, if it all depends on what the left side's doing, what you can do with the right side, or the up and down.
There is something that you, as the individual business owner, can do, though, beyond the PPP loans and this other stuff. When you get to the point where you're reopening and think reorganization is a possibility now for small businesses. And we'll talk about it more in depth later in another show. But these new small business Chapter 11 opportunity is going to be there, and it is going to be the lifeline for many, if not many small businesses out there.
Hey, if a personal owner personally guaranteed that loan, what do they do? Do you file Chapter 7 with the corporation, and then the personal liability, the personal guarantee is put on hold, or they come after him then?
So you're going to file conceivably a small business Chapter 11 for the business, and you're going to possibly have to put the owner of the business that personally guaranteed the debt into their own personal Chapter 13.
Oh, you got to do both.
Their own personal Chapter 11 for them.
Is there a difference between, do they have to come after the corporation first and then not get paid before they can go after the personal guarantee?
That's going to depend on the language in the guarantee, but usually they don't have to do that.
It's either one or the other.
More often, the lender goes after the company at the same time because there's security and there's collateral to go after, and that's when you file the Chapter 11 to file the protection. And yeah, you're right, Brian. We'll have to do a show on the new Chapter 11 rules. You can have up to $7.5 million of debt. It's an expedited process. It's kind of like the Chapter 13 for an individual, right?
It is. It's basically the new Chapter 13 for small business. It makes it an affordable process for small business rather than it being ridiculously unaffordable, and as normal Chapter 11s are.
Okay,
it's funny, you need an expert on that too. Just like yesterday, I had Ken pop into my Oakland University business law class and help teach bankruptcy a little bit, because it's going to be really a monstrous
Good
thing.
thing I didn't insult you right when my phone rang.
I know, but I told you no swearing.
Oh, but I thought you were joking, so I almost started swearing. Let's move on. I don't have an estate plan. Different topic, but it's an important one. We're coming up to a break, but set the stage, Pat. I don't have an estate plan. Why is that a big deal right now?
Well, everything that you're talking about, if dad's sick and he can't contact the lender to talk about renegotiating, if he doesn't have a financial power of attorney in place, you can't talk to the lender. They won't even pick up the phone. So you need a medical power of attorney and a financial power of attorney more than anything right now. Just be able to have someone that can make your decisions. If you can't leave the house, if you can't get on the phone to talk to them, if you need two people, husband and wife, you got to have a power of attorney for both of them.
Let's take a break. When we come back, and put the whole scenario together in terms of why you need an estate plan, and you need it now.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m. and Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m. and on KISS 105.9 Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Be sure and sign up for our monthly contest. Free $100 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. On Wednesday, May 20th, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we have a webinar, COVID or no COVID, how do I address my debt issues? We're going to go through debt problems so that you preserve what you have. You don't want to allow your future income to go to solving and paying your past debts. The goal is to take your situation so your future income starts paying current bills, and the excess goes to savings so you have something to retire with. We'll go through all the options using bankruptcy and also solutions outside of bankruptcy. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. You want to sign up at lawandreality.com, thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can always come into THAV Gross for a free consult. We're doing them via teleconference, phone conference, or once the shelter rule is out, we'll have in-office consultations available if permitted and when smart. Just call 888-235-HELP to schedule an online consultation, or go to the website and there's a box you can click to request a consult. Debt issues with Brian, tax issues with Jeff, estate planning issues with Brian or Pat Samasco, business issues with myself, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner, criminal issues with Scott Weinberg. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. Want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross and Samasco Law. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We are here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We will create a plan and get through this together. THAV Gross will solve your problem.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Okay, guys, we're back. All right, so, Pat, we've talked about estate planning, many times, and the thing that my takeaway on our conversations is always that even though there's all these documents, the trust, the will, the durable power of attorney seems to have a greater significance than everything when we discuss it. Explain, am I right?
Everybody thinks the will is the most important document. In my opinion, I think the will is really the least important document. It says who gets your stuff if you pass away. Well, under the law, if you don't have a will, everything goes to your next of kin, which is 99% of the time. That's what people want anyway. But the financial power of attorney right now is critical. If people are sick and they can't get out to the bank and can't talk to the bank and can't negotiate with the bank, you need a financial power of attorney to give someone the authority to do that. If you can't make your medical decisions, and your wife isn't sitting next to you at the hospital bed because they won't let her in, or your son can't be in there, if you don't have a medical power of attorney, it's impossible to make the decisions effectively. And then you have to go to probate court and ask for a guardian and conservator, and the courts are closed now unless it's an emergency situation.
So those are probably the two most critical documents at this point.
Well, right now we're trying to deal with this today. A 45-year-old young husband with kids had a brain bleed and he's in the nursing home. A 98-year-old grandma is in the assisted living. Both of them need those documents. So everybody in the...
They don't have them. They hadn't signed them ahead of time?
No, they didn't. Well, luckily, no. These cases, neither one of them had them signed up ahead of time. So everyone in those family situations said, oh, my God, how hard it is to deal with these situations. but most of the people don't have them. Right? Everyone that you talk to, Brian, everyone that you talk to, Jeff, my mom's in the nursing home, what do I do? And we said, well, we need the power of attorneys. Thank God you have yours. And the kids always say, no, we don't have it. We'll do ours next. They're so critical. Isn't it funny, Jeff? It is. Everyone says my mom's crazy. She doesn't have them. Right. Yeah, we're going to get mom's done first, and then we'll do ours next.
And they're easy to do also.
Oh, they're easy. They're so easy. And they're so hard if you don't have them is the key. Now, the question is, do you need them? Who knows if you're going to need them, but you want them because you might need them in the future.
But if you do need them, you have to have them is what it comes down to.
Thank God.
What about with the nursing homes and right now with COVID? Did they do anything about witnessing and notarization?
So right now, we just got past the executive order this week that allows electronic signatures and electronic notaries to so we can actually have these documents signed up while mom's in the assisted living. Well, mom's at home and she can't leave the house. They can't come into our office, so we can have it signed up electronically with electronic witnesses and notaries, just like a real estate document. We can do that with estate plans.
And we can do it remotely. We can do it with a traditional signature, but as long as we can get a audio and video teleconference real-time going, you can physically sign the document, and as long as it can be observed by the lawyers, the witnesses, and the notary, then under the current executive order, then that is being ordered to be held valid during the state of emergency. And then we can clean things up and make sure that we're bulletproof later.
So just like right now, Ken, let's assume that you were in the hospital and you needed to have a financial power of attorney.
Can we have Brian in the hospital?
Brian's in the hospital.
Okay.
Brian's staying at home. He isn't going anywhere.
Brian's in the hospital. Brian's at home. He's not in the hospital. He's worried. We could email him these documents under a DocuSign, which is a service. Ken could be a witness. Jeff could be a witness. I could be a notary. We could witness Brian clicking his signature. And then we could be a witness and notary and get it all done. Right now, we could get it done on this segment right now.
Right.
And it would be a valid document.
Who are you going to make your attorney?
You would pick who you want to be. Oh, who you going to? Well, Jeff, absolutely, because he's the person.
Jeff, can you then have to send all of his money over to me?
It's funny. Bonnie just called me. She says, "Hey, I want to be named Ken's power of attorney. I'm getting a little worried about him." I said, "Okay, Bonnie. We'll do it next show."
Tough situations, absolutely. But the point is, there are remedies. The takeaway on estate planning is you need those durable power and healthcare powers of attorney. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.